Clark, how are you this fine day?
Well, good. I'm in transitioning. I'm moving to a new studio. So can you imagine moving your house, and now I've got to move a studio. So it's as a blind person, it's a lot of fun because obviously I've got to make sure where everything is and what do I need, and yeah, it's again another learning experience. After 2 years of being in a space, feel like I'm going on to a new chapter.
And is this move because you need more space, have better work, better workflow, just because you're growing?
Bit of both, really. Just the idea of growing, found a space that more opportunities will arise from. I'm in the community. I'm a community artist. I'm not an artist that just does a piece of artwork and then disappears in his shed for 6 months. I want to be out and about. So I'm in a space. So from Portsmouth, England, and I'm going to be in the historic dockyard, which brings so many memories to me as a child because my dad was in the Navy and I used to go through there and see the warships and stuff. And now I'm going to be working in the historic dockyard, which is amazing.
Well, that'll help with the creative juices. So, well, I too remember you from that initial summit. And Kristen, that's funny because people are text each year we have the summit again and they say, is Clark presenting? And I don't think they've ever sent a text said, is Charlie presenting? And that's what I did notice. Some people have this passion, this vibe, this drive, and that is good. But as you remember, when you were, starting out, what was it like? What was it like?
It was hard. Of course, it's hard because you turn around and say, "Look, I'm a blind artist." People laugh at you. I still get it today. No matter what I've done in my career, if I'm on the phone and I say to him, "Look, I'm doing a project. I'm a blind artist." First question I get is say, "I didn't realise that artists could be blind," and that's the perception of what we get in society. What questions I would say is like, "What do you do?" And the first thing people say is, "Oh, isn't it nice you've got a hobby that is so grating," and that still grates me today. So I work twice as hard to break down the barrier of a hobby and a profession. I'm a professional artist.
And you've been saying that I guess there's a time you become a professional, but I know one thing you have voiced. It's like Muhammad Ali, he always talked the talk and then he went out and did it. And you said, I'm a professional, I'm a blind professional artist. I am going to be in galleries. And over time, you've been achieving some of those visions.
Yes, and Thriving Blind Academy, people, I come on here every week. I'm probably the crazy Brit that turns up, and I love it. Because I love the friendship and the camaraderie we get from a group of people that aspire to be better than what society tells us what we can be. I may be an artist, but the idea of having a dream, we all have dreams, and to part of that group has allowed me to flourish, to make me think differently. Because I'm an artist, but I'm not a business person. I don't. And the idea of losing friends when you lose your sight. So I gained a new set of friends, and it's really helped me on this journey, which has been a whirlwind.
Yes, and I do know in the beginning, you were, trying to find your lane, and you were just trying to get some momentum. And I know at times, and anybody who's listening, there's time, we have dreams, we have goals, we have things we're aiming higher towards, but we hit some challenges, or we 5 doors get shut, and instead of throwing up my arms and giving up totally, I just course correct, or I reset my passion to keep moving forward. And I remember when you were hitting some walls and hitting doors were getting shut, and you're like, I don't care what they say because I am going to do this. And like you said, you came into the Thriving Blind in business. We had a program, a pilot program, and you showed up every time. You participated. You followed through on the homework. You just, you are a dream student for a teacher. you are just that guy that's like, wow, what is it? What is it in you that keeps you moving? Like, don't you ever just
Yeah,
want to?
it's strange, Charlie, because when people say, when you lose your sight, it's a difficult situation. I expected maybe to lose my sight maybe when I'm 50s or 60s. I knew my habit, but not in my 30s. And it made me realise, that there's better things out there. I may have lost my sight, but I've not lost my determination, my drive to be better, to better myself. It doesn't matter about the art, just to better myself, period. And and going blind, you want to learn. It's like learning every day. I love that. That's why I love being blind, because every day is a new day. I'm learning experiences. I'm learning how to navigate society without eyes, and that excites me. It's really strange. It excites me because every day I'm thinking, right, how am I going to get over this hurdle? How am I going to do this? And then I gain that knowledge, so I become a better person. And I think that's key to anybody who's growing up. But especially with someone who's blind, the idea that your life stops, it just begins for me.
That is a great attitude, and some of us, we go into that pretty quickly, and some of us, we've got to fight a little, and have a little self-pity, and eventually, because really, is there any other way? I mean, no, you've got to ask those right questions. So, Clark, I remember, so we have a Monday mentorship call, and you're there and you participate. You don't just sit back, and you participate. You offer sometimes mentorship and guidance for one of the other students or members of the academy, or you throw out, this is, I'm running into this, or I'm struggling here. And it's so cool because I mean, I know Kristen loves the group. She tells us every Monday, and because she has takeaways, I have takeaways. I mean, I think everybody who plays full out, in that Monday thing, call, just, we all have takeaways. It's some days we give more, some days we get more.
I love that Monday. Monday's the highlight of my week. I just love, let's say, tuning in, because an art is a very solitude profession unless you're out and about. So I'm always in my studio. I'm always creating, and I love hearing you chat and your talks and your pearls of wisdom, because I work in words. I love hearing your voice, and it's like sometimes it inspires me to think, oh, that would be a really cool art piece. So I get driven by your what you say, and then during the week, because we just said every day is a new day for me as a blind person. So I always gain those stories, that knowledge, and I like to share. If it helps the group or someone has feedback. Obviously the biggest obstacle we had was coming out of COVID. I think the idea. My eyesight got a lot worse over that period, and coming, because how could I share that emotion? I had no friends because we're all locked down. I had no one to talk to. So by talking it out on that Monday meeting, it really helped a lot, and it really helped me get over the anxiety of, God, I've got to go out again into the world.
Yes, I do remember, and I know how. I mean, I'm legally blind, and when I hit 40, my eyes dropped. I'm like 2400 plus in each eye, and I think I was 23. I don't know, but that 100, that's a big deal. And so what do? We adapt. We, like you said earlier, it's like, you love yourself. Like, you don't argue with your legal blindness. You don't hate yourself because of it. You say, okay, it is what it is. How can I work with this? And because of it, you've gotten some real good tactics and way of living and doing art that is remarkable.
It is, and in the art world, it is down to luck. But you make your luck. You work hard to get that luck. So you talked about doors being closed on me. One door was closed on me. I did a workshop, and I met someone. They said, "Oh, what would you like to do?" I said, "Well, I was going to do a brow trowel at this place, but it got knocked back." And then within 3 weeks, I had a brow trowel at a music festival where over 80,000 people experienced Braille. I mean, and it's those kind of things. And what the beauty of that was, people will come up to me and say they changed how they perceive blindness, and that was the kind of the thing that made me go, oh, I want to do more of this. So then I ended up going to schools, and after COVID, like within 2 years, I've engaged with over 5,000 young minds about the use of Braille and what is sight loss, just by doing a Braille trail at a music festival.
Wow, that's great, because you keep putting one foot in front of the other. You keep showing up and you keep looking for the opportunities. I know that because I know when I was in business for 19 years selling adaptive technology, and then people said, but we want you to do this, and so I became a speaker. I did other things because it made a larger impact. And that's what I know you, I hear you, and I know you want to go out and help change the bias and really give people the idea that blindness doesn't suck. Blindness isn't a curse. Blindness isn't the end. It's a new beginning. And boy, when you activate the blind-sighted mind, it's amazing what we can do. I mean, people will say to me, Clark, like, you're not really blind.
Oh yeah, get that all the time, because they don't. And I say to them, look, blindness is a spectrum. I've got a colourful background behind me. I'm a visual artist. I work in colour, and then we get the conversation about what is colour to me. And I say, well, I have a memory of colour. I had sight for 30 years. I've built up memories, and I don't see with my eyes. I see with my brain. And what I'm doing now is creating new memories to how I perceive colour. Ironically, I've got pink in the background. You must know this, Charlie. Pink is one of those colours. It's so awful because it absorbs light. It bounces light off. It's so hard to adjust what is pink. So yeah, I'm having fun with colour. I really am, and you can see how bubbly I am, like, because I'm enjoying life. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I want more of it. I've got hunger to be bigger than what I am. Why can't I be on the national TV? Why can't I have a chat show and interviewing people? I feel like that there's a purpose there.
And if you keep moving and keep doing what you're doing, your art, and shaking hands and sharing, this is who I am, and this is what I'm doing now, and this is where I want to be going, and people will start aligning. Like you said in the beginning, you were alone in a way. Hey, I'm a blind artist. Yeah, okay. And I can't think Christopher Columbus. I couldn't think of anyone. But, and no, I really am. Oh, okay, buddy. Because there's a bias. There's when people say to us, you're not really blind. And it's because they have an idea what blindness is. And to them, it's probably not so good. And why would you be smiling and living and playing full out and going for your dreams and doing pretty much everything sighted people do except drive a car? People are like, they don't get it, nor do they need to get it, but they need to understand that we have every opportunity as they do.
That's right. And like I say, the art is just one thing on the wall, but the idea of it's giving me a platform, like Thriving Blind is giving me a platform to share what is blindness. And I think that's so important. We are the generation now to change the next generation how we perceive blindness. And it's so important for someone my age to say, hang on a minute, like, I don't want this conversation in 20 years' time. I want us to, we're blind, get over it, let's move on. Let's have blind people just working in industries that blind people shouldn't, and just that, yeah, that's what I want. It's and the time is right. If COVID has taught us anything, it's taught us time is short on this planet, and we've got to do the best we can. And if my role now is to change how we perceive blindness through my art, then I've got another 40 years of pure enjoyment.
I love it. So a thing about Thriving Blind Academy is we focus on success principles. So each Monday, each masterclass, each webinar, when we have pilot programs or we offer any type of extension of the academy, it's all focused around success principles. Why? Well, they align with relationships, business, they align with everything. And what we noticed is, especially when I was in my business, people would come in, they didn't have a belief in themselves. They didn't even have great information about their vision problem. They were just beat up, and they didn't know they could take responsibility. They didn't know they could ask or advocate for themselves. And I was like, wow, I would definitely understand why it would be terrible to be blind with not knowing. And so I went on a crusade to change that, like you're doing. And I think in the academy, what we want to do is just keep reminding it is possible. Ask
It
if
is.
you need,
It is.
you
It's
know.
like obviously I come in on the midday one for American time because obviously it's 5 o'clock my time. But I wonder what happens in the evening one because obviously more people may turn up. I don't know, but it'd be for me that academy is for everyone. Even if you just come on the one, and just to kind of like see what it's about. See, not everyone is as bubbly as me and you, Charlie. Blindness, like say, people deal with it differently. But to come on to the program, you won't be disappointed of how empowering is it. And not just for the blind community, but the parents with blind children, because that's what the whole thing with, Kristen set it up for with blind kids. How does she deal with that? So for those parents, it's like, what can my child achieve? Your child can achieve anything. Anything is possible, and that's what we want. We want that generation to. Why can't there be a blind prime minister or president? How cool would that be?
Oh, that's a big one. So I guess it would be cool because you would have lots of people doing all the sighted stuff for you. So what it was like, I remember you were where you were. Then what happened was you raised your hand, you asked for help, you took action, you showed up, you focused on these success principles with us, you shared your vision and your dreams and repeatedly, you know, over and over. And so I know you believe them. And what is it like now? I just want to talk about one quick thing. I remember when you were trying to get into galleries, and there's a certain way to do it. And yeah, I don't remember the exact way, but it was like, put this key in here, step to the left, and then speak a certain way to the gatekeeper. And you weren't getting anywhere. So I said, well, don't try something different. If we all play in the Red Sea of competition and we don't operate from the blue sea of opportunity, then that's what artists are doing. They're doing it that way. And I said, do it a different way. Send in a video, do so, but make sure your voice is heard. And trust me, when you get that one person that says, oh, tell me more, Clark, this sounds very interesting, then that door was open and more momentum got going for you.
It did, and it came down to a bit of luck, really, just because I worked with a charity. I did some artwork for a charity gala, and it just so happened that that gala was a major art director of a big gallery in London. And he loved what I did. He loved my story. And we got chatting on Zoom. And it wasn't about the art, it was about me as a person,
Yeah.
and I found that refreshing. And I had my first solo exhibition in January at a major gallery. I was on every news channel going in the UK. I even made it all the way to Korea in the Korean Herald. And it really has changed my life. It's given me a platform to progress further. And like I said, even though I'm with a major gallery, it hasn't stopped me from pursuing other avenues, other dreams, of opportunities. Because why would I rest on my laurels? I'm just with a gallery. That's not enough for me. I want to be in New York, exhibiting, talking, going down, just being who I am in my brown suit, you know, and having multiple exhibitions around the world. Until that's happened, I'm never going to give up.
And then when that happens, you'll have another big one behind it, so, or in front of it. So anyway, that's great. And and haven't you won some awards, and how have you been recognized? And another thing, I know you didn't do what you're doing, and you're not like, your dream wasn't, I want that award. It was, this is what I'm doing. And because of it, you got recognized by a few different, besides TV and magazines.
Well, I haven't won an award yet. I'm still, because obviously it's a very niche thing with the art world. Awards are very hard to come by. But the biggest award I can give you is a school in London heard me on a podcast, and they named their class after me. They named their classes after inspirational artists. So they've got classes like Anthony Gormley, Grayson Perry, and then they got a class called Clark Reynolds, which is, that would be any award in the world, because those things happen to the top level of art, you know, or if you're dead. So that is a great award for me. And those kids growing up in that class know about Sight Loss and Braille because of me. And that's the biggest accolade I could ever want.
Wow, that's great. So 3 years from now, Clark, if you and I are, which we will be, chatting on Facebook Live or somewhere, hopefully it's going to be at some big show, you know, but anyway, if we're chatting 3 years from now, what does that look like?
3 years from now, most importantly, is that house for my daughter, so she can flourish with her disability. That's really key. When happy family, happy life, as they say. Once that's in place, then for me, it is about going to New York. It is about going to Sydney. It is about putting my stamp on my art, being bigger than Damien Hirst and Jeff Koons. And you know, when people mention dot art, they mention, oh yeah, it's that Clark Reynolds. You know, that's what I want.
Yeah, I like that. And I know too, you want to shift the mindset out there, because you and I both know there's it's the same in both countries and all. It's unemployment is too high. There's some depression, and there's obesity. It's just like, it doesn't need to be this way. Now, COVID, of course, did not help, but prior to that, we were at a 70+ unemployment rate here in the US. And it's, you know, you said it earlier, I don't see with my eyes. Our eyes pass light and information to the part of the brain that says, oh, okay, you're looking at this and that and the other thing. But you can close your eyes and engage vision. And you can, you know, get creative and get excited about it. And I just noticed over the years that, there's a bias in the sighted world, but there's a bias in the blindness world. People believing this is as good as it's going to get, or I can't work more than my SSDI because I can't possibly lose it. And it's, you know, I know you, I mean, heck, the potential you have because you believe it and you talk about it and you show, you know, I believe all humans, they don't have to do it as passionately as we do it, but I do believe in the right communities, with the right mentors and, the whole package, all can thrive.
Yeah, you just need that little belief, and then the world is your oyster, but you must shuck that oyster to get that pearl. That's the, you know, it takes a lot of time to shuck. Let's be honest, you know, and you don't want to cut yourself, but you know, it takes hard work, and you know, that's the key in anything we do in life. It's hard work. Hard work pays off, and I believe, you know, that 3 years is just around the corner, Charlie. For me, it's getting there.
Yes, us too. We it's going to be amazing 3 years from now how much impact the Academy has made, and how many, maybe you're going to have some artists under. We just don't know, but we're going to keep pushing forward and keep attracting people into the community, because it's just such a joy on a Monday to, hey, this is a new person. And we welcome them, and then 3 weeks later, they're in a better space.
That's it. That's the beauty. You know, if people come on and then they start believing in themselves and go off and do better things, and they disappear because they disappeared for a reason. They've disappeared because they've got a 9 to 5. They've got a job. They're living life. You know, and that's the best we can do. I thought, you know, the best part of my job is it's not 9 to 5, so I can jump on these meetings, which is great, and I love it. I love being the only Brit. Really, it's quite unique to me, the only Brit, and I love America. I love everyone across the pond, and everyone will get to see me across the pond in April. I will be in a gallery, in Vision Gallery in Wichita, with my first solo exhibition in the States. So I'm so excited.
Yahoo! Well, that's fantastic.
That was absolutely incredible. We have tons of folks are watching on Facebook Live, and I was able to get some snippets on Instagram Live. And what I love that you both pointed out without actually saying the words is, you know, what I'm always talking about is blindness. When all things are equal, accessibility is in place, and you put these success principles into play, you really do have the competitive edge. And as you guys were talking about, you know, when Clark, when you had said these galleries they're not responding to it, they don't understand a blind artist. And Charlie said, do something a little different. You're definitely different than other people. You have such unique skills. Give them a call, give them your energy. And you have given the field of the whole art spectrum an energy level that I honestly have never seen in the art world. And I believe that's part of the reason that you catapulted through just so high and so far and wide. And before we got on this live, Clark, you were talking about the thousands and thousands of children that you're impacting. And that energy is what they are associating now with blindness and art. It is completely opposite of the energy that has been at play for decades. And now you're impacting this whole new generation with this incredible energy. And it's absolutely extraordinary.
It's great. And I'm really happy that we stumbled across each other those 3 years ago. You've made a big impact on my life, on how I perceive what blindness is. You know, like I said, without these groups around, then you will suffer in silence. You will sit on that sofa and just be another statistic. But no, that's why more people should come into this group and not be a number. You know, be someone they can only be. If they want to be a professional gardener, let them be a gardener. If they want to be a professional jigsaw piece puzzler, let them do that. You know, they can do anything they want. You know, they just need a belief, and that's what this group does. It gives you belief.
Right. One of the jobs that we aspire, that we don't suggest, is to become a professional couch potato.
Yeah. We're not going for that.
No.
Well, Charlie, any final thoughts before I wrap up with our special, our very quick reading in the special book that Clark is featured in?
My final thought is, this is the energy. Like right now, I can't wait to get off this call. I'm just kidding, and go do stuff. You know, it's like this energy. That's why we're successful, is because the energy. Maybe I'm down a little one day, and then in the Monday thing, Clark comes in and he's freaking, you know, crazy energized, and I receive that, and then I'm in a better place.
Oh, lovely.
Agreed. Every Monday, it supercharges me to achieve some pretty good things each week. All right, I'm just going to share real quick the Thriving Blind Academy children's book that recently came out. What I Can Be Is Up to Me. I'm holding it up to the screen right now, and it is a mountain climber on top of a mountain with a dog wagging its tail. This was actually, I wrote this and it was illustrated by a visually impaired artist. And Kim Crothers created Clark in his yellow Braille suit, doing his paintings. And this is my favorite part. The sign says at the bottom, please touch the art. Absolutely fantastic. And here is Clark's page in the story. What I can be is up to me because you see, I believe in me. I can be like Clark. I can create paintings too. Dipping the brush, painting the canvas, making touchable art. Dip, drip, dot. The whole book is exciting like that. It's got Clark's vibe all the way through it. It has the vibe of our tribe here at Thriving Blind Academy. You can get it at whaticanbeisuptome.com. All the proceeds of this children's book go to the programs here at Thriving Blind Academy. And we welcome all of you that are considering taking the next right step in the direction of your dreams to come into Thriving Blind Academy. Go on the website, thrivingblindacademy.org. There are different levels of membership to meet you where you're at, but definitely don't just stay where you're at. Take one step in the direction of your dreams. Clark, thank you so much for all that you do here in the Academy as a mentor and inspirer and keeping us smiling, and all that you do over there in the UK. And everyone better believe it. When Clark is coming over to the States, everyone will know it. Thanks so much, buddy.
Bye, everyone.